Have you seen any girls come out of that?
Oh yes, that's when I went out, from the first time, I had one single prayer, and that was that I'd at least reach one that night with a heart-to-heart to get a heart-to-heart contact. Because some of them are very shy, some of them couldn't speak Swedish, some of them, it was not easy to get a contact. But with some I only got very, very superficial conversation, not going into the depths and so on. I thought that they would tell me that this was a tragedy to be there. That was a bad thing to be there, but nobody, of course, defended it. But I couldn't reach the heart. But if I could reach the heart of one, I thought it was worth everything, so to say. And it happened. It happened.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I remember it was a summer night. And she came there, and she was Swedish, and she was around 40 years old, I think. And she was crying. And we got such a conversation that night, that we met in that way that night. And she described how dirty she felt. How guilty she felt, how nervous she was, how afraid she was to go into a car of an unknown person, an unknown man. And also could tell me the story of how she had been hit, and ridiculized, and she cried and cried and cried and cried. We met here in the church some days later, and I helped her with a practical thing, a train ticket. We found the place where she was going, so we knew that it was correct. That was some parents waiting for her there and so on. I think it was parents, yes. But before we went to the central station to buy the ticket, I said, "Am I allowed to pray for you?" "Of course," she said, "of course." And I prayed in my normal priestly way, so to say. And then I asked her, "Can't you pray yourself?" "Oh yes," she said. And she knelt down and she only said, "Jesus, help me from this bullshit." She is out of that today.
Wow.
Yes.